Here's your tarot reading from the Autumn Woods. For today's reading, you choose between the sky, the mountains, and the river. I'll pull cards for each and offer an interpretation. Air, earth, or water. Each reading will be time-stamped in the captions, and I often recommend staying for all three readings because they are collective readings, and sometimes it feels like they tap into themes that are moving through the collective unconscious. So sometimes we can make meaning from all three. Sky, mountains, or river. Hi, I am Brooke of the Woods. Hi, I am Brooke of the Woods. And I think of these readings as offerings of inspiration to our wise and creative subconscious. And we're just looking for anything that feels like synchronicity, anything that feels like validation, anything that helps us to make meaning or change our perspective on something in a useful way. We'll begin with the cards for the air element, the sky at the top. We have the reversed Three of Discs and the reversed Hierophant. So these cards have like a pick-me energy to them, by which I mean there is a sense that these cards are describing a situation where we may have been willing to compromise ourselves or feed into a system of power in order to have proximity to that power and to feel safe. And the reason I say that is because the reversed Hierophant just has that energy. It is the energy of a closed fraternity, a system that protects itself and has insiders and outsiders. And when the reverse Three of Discs comes up, sometimes it represents what is unique and interesting and eccentric about us. So together with these cards, I'm wondering where we might have dulled our own shine, where we might have pulled back from our own authentic expression, where we might have obeyed the cringe that we experienced, that we internalized in order to be safe within this society. And the cards for the mountains and trees, the earth element in the middle are the reversed Hanged One and the reversed Two of Discs. Both of these cards have a feeling, like literally a feeling of things being up in the air, of things being uncertain, of the coin being flipped and we're watching it spin. There's a feeling of anticipation, of waiting. It feels like now the decision is out of our hands in some way. And with this moment of weightlessness, both of these cards, because they're reversed, very much have a feeling like it feels very uncomfortable. It feels like painful or even agonizing. There is a feeling here of being at the mercy of circumstances. There's like an acknowledgement that things are beyond our control. So with cards like this, often the best guidance is for us to be getting in touch with the part of ourselves that is strong enough to endure the uncertainty. What practices, skills, rituals can we use when we are in this liminal space at the threshold of the unknown, waiting for the coin to drop? And it could be a physical or mental, psychological, emotional practice. And with the Hanged One here, there's always the possibility that there is a spiritual depth that we are being invited into in order to navigate these waters. And the cards for the river at the bottom, the water element, we have the Fool and the Chariot reversed. It's weird, like the first thing that occurred to me when I saw these cards is that story that you see occasionally, like on made-for-TV movies and stuff, where, someone has like a brain injury and they wake up and they are a completely different person. Like all of a sudden they know French, they are kind to their children, they know math really well, or some strange occurrence where it's just like their brain has shifted. And moreover, like more importantly for this reading, it's like their entire personality has shifted, like their character. And I say that because the reverse chariot represents those times. And I just mentioned, we just had this card recently, so I talked about it at length there. But it's like those times where our kind of coherent, witnessing self that is, we hope, directing the show, like driving the ego, is taking a back seat, and whatever's in the front seat is maybe immature or undeveloped or hurt part of ourselves. And the Fool can represent this kind of blank slate. So there's almost a feeling with this reversed chariot of like a fractured sense of self. And so potentially the Fool can step in, and the Fool represents like ground zero, beginning from nothing. So it's almost like all of these other parts that may have been, battling for the driver's seat. It's like some part of ourself is like, okay, none of you get the keys. And we are allowing something much more like open and innocent and even filled with awe and potential and openness to possibility, that this Fool aspect of ourselves may be what is rising up. So it's almost like a dissolution of old selves in order for this clarity to happen. There's just an energy here of almost like hitting the reset button on our identity and how we think about ourselves and who we are in the world.